Hello everybody and welcome to Tutorials Point. You all are once again most welcome to Tutorials Point. Well, I am sure body language is something that we all have discussed time and again, and it is something that we all are aware of, isn't it? It is not something new for all of us, but yet even after discussing it so many times, what is it that keeps us getting back to body language again? Well, that is because body language has the power which sort of nothing else can equate, right? So that is the power of your body language. So you can get things done just when your body language is correct, no matter how well prepared or how much knowledge you might have about a subject or the situation that you're talking about. But if your body language doesn't go hand in hand with that, or if your body language doesn't support the endeavor that you are in, well, you are bound to fail. So what are we waiting for? Let us go ahead and explore as to how can we actually use body language to succeed in our careers. Okay, first thing and the foremost thing, whenever we want to project ourselves in our sort of career life, or in our wherever we want to progress as far as our profession is concerned, don't we want to show up the best of ourselves, or don't we just want to show up very confident in that particular field? Yes, we want to. But how do we do that? Does all the confidence just come with the words that you are speaking or with the subject knowledge that you have? Yes, partly yes. It's not that subject knowledge or experience about that particular thing has nothing to do with it. But is it just limited to that? Well, not really. I'm sure most of you might have come across some people who might be very good with the knowledge of the subject, but when it comes to delivering, or when it comes to expressing the knowledge or applying it, they are not able to convince the people around that they are the best. Now, what is it that sort of is a gap, or what is it that is a wall between their knowledge and the way it is being expressed to the outer world? Well, that is their body language. So first thing and the foremost thing that we all need to do, just in case we want to be very successful with our careers, is to stand up tall and take up space. Well, the first thing, or the first principle, or the first impression which you make through your body language is the way you stand up or the way you walk. So if you're standing up tall and if you take up space, you're not sort of, you're not shrinked in, or you're not sort of cuddled like this. I mean, if you are sort of shrinking, that only indicates that you are not confident or you're not feeling comfortable. But on the other side, if you stand up tall and straight exactly the way you are, well, that is the first impression which is posed. Well, of course, everything else follows, your knowledge, your skills, the way you speak, everything. But the first and the foremost impression is created through the way you stand up, right? So you need to stand up tall, need to take up space, so that it sort of will give an impression that you are very comfortable in your skin. Okay, second thing, lower your vocal pitch. Well, you might have heard certain people, when they speak, it's sort of their voice is so shrill that it starts to pierce your ears, and after some time it becomes a pain to listen to them. So that is precisely what you need to take care of, because yes, no doubt your volume could be high, but your tone has to be your pitch cannot be high. Your volume could be high, but if it is shrill, it is going to give everyone really a tough time, because shrill voice is basically your voice turns shrill when your emotions are highly fluctuating. And whenever you want to project the best of yourself, you definitely want to project yourself as a very stable-minded person, right? So whoever is observing you is definitely aware of the fact that very high pitch indicates that your emotional state is not very balanced. So just in case you want to present the best of yourself to succeed in your career, well, take care of your emotional state, because that in turn will take care of your pitch. Okay, strike a power pose. Well, very much like the first point that we discussed, you need to stand up tall and straight. Your body language cannot be shrinked like this. Your shoulders should not be drooping. You shouldn't be cuddled up like this. You need to open up. You need to be, opening up doesn't mean that you need to just open up your arms all the time, but you need to be exactly whatever the situation is, your shoulders or your body should be straight. It shouldn't be stooping, or even if you're sitting, you shouldn't be slouching. Your your backbone has to be straight. Your shoulders have to be straight. That power pose has immense power in it indeed. If you want to create that impression, and if you want everyone at your workplace to believe that you are confident, well, then you will need to strike a power pose. Of course, having said that, it is something which will happen only if you are confident, right? So when you are confident, automatically, or any person who is confident automatically will present or automatically will stand in a power position. Or so obviously it is, when you are standing in that position, it is showing up. So, well, these are certain points. If you are aware of them consciously, you will be able to apply them in your daily life. Okay, maintaining a positive eye contact. Well discussed many times. Whenever you're talking to someone, look them into the eye and talk to them, because that sort of gives an impression that whatever you're saying, you're very sure of it. At the same time, if your gaze is way too unblinking and it is sort of it is sort of making the other person conscious, that also is going to be a problem. So your eye contact has to be very, very optimal, and it has to create an impression that whatever you are saying, you're being very honest and sure about it, because your words might lie, but your eyes cannot. So do take care of this thing. Okay, talk with your hands. Well, I probably do not even need to explain this point, because the way I talk to you is so much through my hands, right? Because I'm a very, very expressive person. So any person who just talks with their hands is only doing it because they are very clear, and they very much know what they are saying. So at the same time, if your hands are sort of, just imagine I'm talking to you like this. You need to use your hands while you're talking to someone, otherwise they will not believe what you're saying. Now, when I was talking to you, didn't it just look so robotic? Didn't it just look that I had crammed up certain lines and I was just vomiting them out? Well, if you do not want to create that impression, do not forget to use your hands while you're talking, because hand movements have a huge impact in communication. Okay, well, use open gestures. That is very, very right. So using open gestures again indicates that you really want to mix up, or you're not trying to throw around weight, right? So at the same time, if your gestures are not open, it just shows that you are that it has created a wall between you and your audiences, right? So it is not letting the communication happen freely and completely. So if you want your communication to be absolutely free and complete, well, then you will need to use open hand gestures. If your hand gestures, or for that matter, even if your leg poses, the way in which you're standing, if your legs are even crossed and closed and your hands are crossed and closed, well, it is sort of a big gap that, or a big wall that you are creating. You're not letting the communication happen completely. People will definitely not connect to you if you're not using open hand gestures. So, well, slight things, slight changes, and they will create a huge amount of change in your career. So, well, what are you waiting for? Just use them in your daily life, in your career, and then see the results. Well, I'm sure all these points are going to be very, very helpful to you. I will see you again in the next video. Till that time, keep learning with Tutorials Point and Tutorix. Have a good day.